You're listening to Mike G in the morning with The Law Matters. So let's be heard. I'm going to hit this hard. A lot of people have this abortion debate as laypersons, and really they don't even understand what happens during an abortion. So these are facts, not political positions. Can you tell us what happens with an abortion?
Absolutely. And, I think the place to start with that is to understand who an abortion is impacting. So, obviously we know that the woman who is obtaining the abortion is going to be impacted in some way, but we also have to consider the other person that's involved, and that's that unborn child. And science unequivocally tells us that life begins at the moment of conception, a new human life. And that really is undebated within the scientific community. It's settled science. We know that at the moment of conception, a distinct, living, and whole human being comes into existence. And so we need to understand that is a human being that we're talking about. With the understanding that we have of embryology now, we know that a heartbeat probably actually begins at about 3 to 4 weeks of gestation, even though we can't really detect it with ultrasound until about 6 weeks. And by the end of that first trimester, all of their major organ systems are developed. So, this is a living human being that we're talking about that really is destroyed through the process of abortion. There are, two types of abortions that we can talk about: medication abortions, where a woman takes medication that first kills that developing human being within her, and then another medication that causes her uterus to contract and expel then the dead baby. And then there are surgical abortions that can occur in the first and second trimesters, where literally the baby is either suctioned or ripped with instruments out of the mother's uterus in pieces. And I think, a lot of people out there don't understand. They think of it as just kind of this sterile medical procedure. But we really do need to understand, if we're going to have honest discussions about abortion, we need to be honest about what's occurring, and that is what's happening.
So when they're extracting the fetus in these situations, they're taking out pieces, as you said? These are body parts, so to speak?
Correct. And this is more evident, obviously, the farther along in pregnancy a woman is. However, it does occur in the first trimester as well. In the second trimester, through a procedure called a D&E, the abortion doctor reaches into through the woman's cervix and uses instruments that have teeth on them, essentially, to grab whatever parts of that fetal human being they can grab. So if they can get a leg or an arm, they do that, and the baby typically is pulled out in pieces, and then the skull is crushed as well to be able to deliver it through the cervix. And now the science of fetal pain shows us that these babies can most likely feel pain as early as about 14 to 15 weeks. So this is being done on a living human being that can feel the pain of being ripped apart.
And we hear often people complaining, lobbying for animals having rights because they can feel pain, things of that nature. Yet we're doing this to unborn children who can feel pain at that stage of development.
Exactly. We have better protections for animals in this country than we do for human beings prior to birth.